name is Natasha and welcome to my Booktube channel. Now today I'm going to be doing my March wrap-up and I'm so proud of myself because I read 11 books this month. I haven't been able to read much this year because of school, but now that the quarantine happened, I read so much this month, and it's also going into April, so I also hope to read as much in April, but we'll see. So the first book I read this month is The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black, and this book is about fairies, and it's about a brother and a sister called Hazel and Ben. And in their town, fairies are kind of well known. People know that they exist. They sometimes mess with people, make jokes. But one day, the prince elf that is in the casket gets broken and he is set free. And the fairies don't really like that. They want him captured again. And because of this, a disaster ensues. I honestly really love the family and the friendship dynamics in this book, and I really recommend this if you're looking to start with a light fairy fantasy read so you don't feel very overwhelmed. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. The second book I read this month is The Innocent Traitor by Alison Weir, and this is a historical fiction book about the Lady Jane Grey, who was the great-granddaughter of Henry VIII, and basically about her whole life. It's kind of like a biographical fiction book about her life. Like, almost everything is true except some kind of things the author had to put in for herself because nobody knew what exactly happened in that moment, but for the most part this book is very historically correct. I loved reading it because it kind of like showed the situation that England was in at that moment with the Catholics and the Protestants, that war that was not war but like that moral war that was happening kind of, and how Lady Jane Grey got caught in the crossfire and she was actually the queen for 9 days until she met an untimely tragic death. Now, I really love this book. If you like history or are interested in historical fiction, I really recommend this. I give it 4 out of 5 stars as well. The third book I read this month is The Interpretation of Murder by Jed Rubenfeld. This is a mystery book that occurs in New York. It's also around the time where Sigmund Freud, the inventor of psychoanalysis, comes to America, and he and his friends and also the American people he is with kind of get involved into this murder mystery, and it's very interesting. The murder mystery is about a girl who appears dead at a hotel, and it was honestly very interesting to see how a murder mystery was solved with the help of psychoanalysis and this very amazing man, like Sigmund Freud, this very amazing man. So yeah, I really loved it. I really recommend it. Again, 4 out of 5 stars. All my books were really great this month. Now, this is an honorable mention. The fourth book I read this month is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I love this book. Like, oh my god, everybody needs to read this. I've heard people, before reading it, I heard a lot of people talk about it, and I also was like, it can't be that good. It's better. Oh my god, I'm just gonna start talking about it. This book is about a boy whose mother dies and his father owns a bookshop, and when his mother dies, his father, to kind of ease his mind off things, takes him to the cemetery of forgotten books, and there he is supposed to take a book and like keep it and make that book like his own. And he picks a book by an author called Julian Cara, and he basically takes it home, and he loves that book so much that he is kind of obsessed with finding out this author's life story, what happened to him, other books by him, and he kind of finds himself kind of a mystery. Not really like a mystery, but this author's life is very mysterious. There's this man who keeps on trying to find and burn this author's books, and this author's life is meddled in many other people's lives, and it's honestly a roller coaster. I love the characters in this book. Fermin has my heart. I love the dynamics. I love everything that happened. Like, you have to read this book. It's kind of historical fiction with mystery, and it's set in Spain, which is very interesting because it also shows kind of like the post-war civil war and what that entailed for the country. And I honestly love this book so much. It was so amazing. 5 out of 5 stars. I would give it more if I could. The fifth book I read this month is Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and this book is a fairy tale retelling of Cinderella about a cyborg who lives in the future, and one day her prince comes to her booth because she's the mechanic and she has to fixes royal android, and kind of she gets mixed in with him and his problems. And at that moment, his problems are that the queen on the moon, the lunar queen called Queen Olivana, wants to marry him, but he doesn't want to marry her because the lunars are known as very terrible people because they can control you by electricity and control you. They call it magic, but it's not actual magic. There's also a disease called letumosis that is a plague that kills everybody. Like, if you get it, you die. And honestly, I love this book so much too. You gotta read it. Just read it. It's sci-fi, but not too sci-fi. It's amazing. It's really amazing. 5 out of 5 stars, no doubt. After reading Cinder, I also read Scarlet right after it, also by Marissa Meyer. It's the second book. It takes after a different protagonist who is called Scarlet, and she meets Wolf, who's a street fighter. Her grandmother actually went missing, so he kind of helps her to find her. And I can't say much more because it's the second book in a series, but I love it so much. It's after Little Red Riding Hood, and oh my god, I gave this book 4 stars, not 5 like the first one, because it wasn't as good, but that's normal because it's the second book in a series, and anyways, it was also amazing. The 7th book that I read is Algo tan sencillo como titular Te Quiero by Blue Jeans, who is a very well-known contemporary author here in Spain, and this book is about a girl who kind of is very sad in life. She wants to be a lawyer just like her parents, and she says she's going to university only to study. We don't believe that. She meets all her future friends in the same hall, and they kind of like start this new university year all together as freshmen, and friendship ensues, love ensues. I liked this book. I didn't love it because I felt like there was something missing from it in a way. Like, things happened, but not many things as for a 500-page book. So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but I'm really looking forward to continuing this trilogy. The 8th book I read is La Chica Invisible by the same author, Blue Jeans, because he did a read-along of all his books, and I read 3 of his books. There's 4 read-alongs, but I only did 3 because I don't have his 4th book. I wish I did, because that would be a reread, and I loved it when I first read it. But anyways, the second book I read of his this month is La Chica Invisible, also by him, as I said earlier. This is a mystery book about a girl called Aurora Rios who gets murdered at her school, and her classmate, who is called Julia Plaza, kind of gets involved in her murder mystery because her father is the chief policeman and investigator in this town, and they basically have to solve this mystery, like who killed her. And it's very interesting. I really liked the way it turned out. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. If you are searching for a book, like an easy Spanish book, if you're trying to learn to speak Spanish, I really recommend his books because the vocabulary isn't very advanced. The 9th book I read this month is Canciones para Paula by the same author that I said before, Blue Jeans. This is a reread for me. I read this book around 4 or 5 years ago and I really liked it. It is about a girl called Paula who has a group of friends at school, and she's been talking to an internet guy for 2 months, and they finally want to meet. But when they meet, she meets another person at the same time, and kind of there's like a love triangle, and also another guy in her class also likes her, and it's kind of this whirlwind of drama. I liked it this time, but not as much as the first time I read it. Like, I still really liked it, I did, but I wasn't like obsessed with it like I was last time. Again, 4 out of 5 stars, really liked it. The 10th book that I read this month is the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles, and it is Crest by Marissa Meyer. This one, it takes after Rapunzel. I can't really describe anything about this book without spoiling you, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say 5 out of 5 stars. Love this. It's a rocket. I can't wait to read Winter. And the last book I read this month is Twilight by Marissa Meyer. 15 years later, after its publication date, I am reading it. I know, I am super late, I am sorry. But if you did not know what this is about a girl called Bella who goes to live in Forks and meets a very interesting young man called Edward. I loved this book so much. I did not expect to love it as much. Like, I expected it to be this corny paranormal romance that was written 15 years ago, and I just could not stand it. I honestly loved it. Like, oh my god. I gave it 4 stars, but like, Edward, please. The Edward Cullen in the movie has nothing to do with the one in the book. The book Edward is so much better. I am in love with him. He is a sweetheart. Oh my god, I need an Edward in my life. I loved it. If you have not read this book yet and you expect it to be like kind of old and corny and paranormal corny, it is not. You need to read this. And yeah, that is it for all my reads of March. Please comment down below what you read this month, or if you read any of these books and what you think about them. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!